The regulatory system functions through the hormones of hypothalamo-pituitary-ovarian axis. Hormones involved in the regulation of menstrual cycle are 3 in number. Number 1 is hypothalamic hormone, that is known as GnRH or Gonadotropin-Releasing Hormone. The second one is anterior pituitary hormone that secretes FSH and LH. FSH being follicle stimulating hormone and LH being luteinizing hormone. And the third is ovarian hormones that are obviously estrogen and progesterone. Now, hypothalamic hormone such as GnRH triggers the cyclic changes during the menstrual cycle by stimulating secretions of FSH and LH from anterior pituitary. GnRH secretion depends upon 2 factors here. External factors like psychosocial events which act on hypothalamus via cortex and many other brain centers. And number 2, the feedback effects of ovarian changes via ovarian hormones. So you see, these hormones are regulated and interconnected with one another. The second one is the anterior pituitary hormones, that is FSH and LH. Both of them modulate the ovarian and uterine changes and then acting directly or indirectly via ovarian hormones. FSH stimulates the recruitment and growth of immature ovarian follicles, while LH is going to trigger the ovulation and sustain corpus luteum production. Secretion of both FSH and LH is under the influence of GnRH. And the last one are the ovarian hormones that are estrogen and progesterone. Both of them are secreted by follicle and corpus luteum. They show many kind of activities during the menstrual cycle. Ovarian follicles secrete large quantity of estrogen. Corpus luteum secretes large quantity of progesterone. Estrogen secretion reaches the peak twice in each cycle, as you can see in the graph over here. Once during follicular phase, just before ovulation, and another one during luteal phase. On the other hand, if you look at the progesterone graph, it is virtually absent during follicular phase till prior to ovulation. But it plays a critical role during luteal phase. Estrogen is responsible for the growth of follicles, but the steroids act together to produce the changes in uterus, cervix, and vagina. Both the ovarian hormones are under the influence of GnRH, Gonadotropin-Releasing Hormone, which acts via FSH and LH. In addition, the secretion of GnRH, FSH, and LH is regulated by ovarian hormones. So all of these 3 hormones are going to be interrelated to each other. The stimulation of one hormone is going to release the second hormone. So now that you know about the basic of female reproductive system and the hormones that regulate them, we should learn about the menstrual cycle and the changes that are occurring in between them. Well, just to remember, there are 2 kinds of cycles that are going on in the female reproductive system, ovarian cycle and the uterine cycle. You need to know what's going to happen in the ovaries and what's going to happen in your uterus. Well, there are 2 phases that occur in both of the cycles. The phase that occurs before ovulation is known as pre-ovulation, and the changes that occur after ovulation is known as post-ovulation changes. In ovarian cycle, follicular phase is responsible for pre-ovulation changes. And in the uterine cycle, menstrual cycle and proliferative phase are responsible for pre-ovulation changes. In post-ovulation, ovarian cycle involves luteal phase, while uterine cycle involves secretory phase. And ovulation is a separate entity which we're going to discuss in the next lectures as well. So now you can connect the dots that ovarian cycle only contain 3 phases: follicular, ovulation, and luteal phase, while uterine cycle contain 4 phases: menstrual cycle, proliferative phase, ovulation, and secretory phase. So do not get confused about them because we are going to be discussing them separately and their regulation in the upcoming bites. So to sum up, during each menstrual cycle, series of changes occur in ovary and accessory sex organs. These changes are divided into 4 groups: ovarian changes, uterine changes, vaginal changes, and cervix changes. Ovarian changes occur in ovarian cycle, while uterine, vaginal, and cervix changes are the part of uterine cycle. So we will be discussing that onwards, so keep watching.